it was more, hey, would you ever? I don't know. Would I? Let me think of,
Oh yeah, for sure. The defense wins championship, and the defense is the key.
Luka was important to the fan base. I didn't quite know it to what level.
The number one pick in the 2025 NBA draft goes to the Dallas Mavericks.
As I'm filming this, it is Wednesday the 14th of May and the NBA playoffs have been absolutely crazy. But the season in general has been one like no other. Teams, players and trades, everything's been unpredictable. As we know, the epitome of that being Nico Harrison trading Luka Doncic. The biggest trade in NBA history, ripping one of the league's best players away from his team and changing the future of a franchise. The champions of the West, Dallas would ultimately miss out on the playoffs after an injury to Kyrie Irving and losing in the play-in. But after all of that, in comes Adam Silver in the NBA, and in the most unprecedented series of events, the Dallas Mavericks now have the chance to select Cooper Flagg with the number one pick. Moving quickly from Luka Doncic to Cooper Flagg, Flagg is clearly the number one pick in the draft, and unless Nico wants to be literally thrown out of Dallas by his fans, Flagg will be a Maverick. But for all the potential and excitement that he could bring to Dallas, Flagg is not exactly a simple fit for Jason Kidd. Let's start and talk about Dallas. Where do you even go? One of the most ridiculous seasons in NBA history for a franchise. Now, we'll talk a little bit about them later, but you have two clear superstars on this team. You have elite scoring and playmaking in Kyrie, but then you have that gritty defense in AD. You could also say you have some shooting in someone like Klay Thompson. But what's missing from the Dallas Mavericks? And the answer to that is versatile defense, front court athleticism, and someone who can guard 1 to 5 and thrive without needing the ball. And when it comes to Cooper Flagg, he checks every single one of those boxes in wing defense, rim protection, transition offense, and off-ball IQ. The forward can be that glue for Dallas, someone who can impact the game defensively and switch without disrupting their offense. And if you're going to talk about Dallas, you've got to talk about one thing. The thing that wins you championships, in the words of Nico Harrison, is defense. And honestly, I would have loved to have seen Harrison's reaction on Tuesday because that man got bailed out. Dallas getting the first overall pick, and even more, the perfect player for his so-called project. Now, as a defender, Flagg is NBA ready right now. His timing as a shot blocker is elite, especially from the weak side. You can just imagine him rotating behind a gambling guard like Jaden Hardy and then cleaning up at the rim. And while we're talking about the defensive fit of Cooper Flagg on the Dallas Mavericks, on draft night I had major questions about the future of Anthony Davis. Now, it is outrageous to say, especially due to the fact they traded for him under a year ago and they gave away Luka Doncic. But when you are someone like the Mavericks who are bringing in an elite defensive prospect and AD is often injured, do you trade away Anthony Davis and purely build around Cooper Flagg? But together, you almost could not have a better defensive duo. Maybe in 2 or 3 years, they're going to be the best in the NBA. Flagg would move to play at the 3 with Anthony Davis playing at the 4, and then you have 2 defensive rocks in the Dallas starting 5. Also paired out with Derek Lively, and you've got a really nice young defensive core in Dallas. Both can switch, protect the rim, and cover tons of ground. It will be a modern defensive frontcourt that is built for the NBA playoffs. Offensively, there are a lot more questions about Flagg, but the fact that he's going to the Mavericks may perfectly aid that. He's not going to have to dominate touches, and he's going to be under the mentorship of Kyrie Irving. Obviously, in his rookie year, there's going to be a greater emphasis on him, as Kyrie Irving might not even play next year, especially not till the trade deadline with an Achilles injury. But that experience of being either the 1 or the 2, depending on the fitness of Anthony Davis offensively, may help Cooper Flagg in his growth. He's not going to be forced to be an offensive one. He's not going to be forced to be that playmaker for a team as if he was drafted to the Jazz or the Wizards. But he's going to have elite teammates who can find good looks for him. He's an excellent cutter, a smart passer, and thrives in transition. And if he can come back the same player, just imagine Kyrie drawing 2 and kicking to Flagg for a baseline cut or a corner 3. And that's where he needs to improve. Flagg's jumper still needs to be polished, but he's a willing shooter. Think more Herb Jones in year 1, high energy and high IQ. But in year 3, he could be a true second or third option. And when you're looking at an elite prospect such as a Cooper Flagg, the exciting thing is always going to be potential. In terms of Flagg's ceiling at Dallas, I think Scotty Barnes with better defence. And I'm still just in between whether Flagg is a generational player or a great player. If you'd asked me a year ago and after his scrimmages with Team USA, I probably would have said generational. But now in 2025 and just before the NBA draft, I'd say Coop's going to be a great player and a multiple-time All-Star, but maybe not on the level of a prospect like Victor Wembanyama. I'm not sure in offense whether he can be that number one guy, but if he develops into the player that many think he'll become, you might not find a better second option in the NBA. And in the current NBA landscape, when the Dallas Mavericks are in the West, you're going to be facing guys like Jokic, Shea, Wemby, and maybe even Giannis next season. If you are the Mavericks, you need that extra guy in Cooper Flagg to be able to compete. In terms of his fit, it's probably not ideal for Cooper. He's not going to come to a team and he's not going to be that number one guy who gets the jerseys on the back of fans. He's not going to be the leader of the Dallas Mavericks. But he's going to be able to develop better with better teammates, and he's also going to be able to compete longer in the NBA, and he's going to be in the playoffs quicker. And if Nico Harrison was right, Cooper Flagg, Derek Lively and Anthony Davis, that's a nice defensive core that could contend for years. So is Cooper Flagg going to be a good fit on the Dallas Mavericks? Maybe, but it certainly isn't what he would have wanted. Let me know in the comments if you think Cooper Flagg is going to be a game changer in Dallas. And if you like the breakdown, hit the like button, subscribe for more NBA deep dives, and I'll catch you in the next one.